Hello and welcome to Picturology. In this quick snap video, we will learn about placement of Mars in the 6th house for a Scorpio rising chart. So when Scorpio, which is the 8th sign of the zodiac, rises in the horoscope, meaning Scorpio is in your very first house, then 6th house falls into the very fiery sign of Aries. So this video is also about placement of Mars in the sign of Aries when the ascendant is Scorpio. So when Scorpio, which is the 8th and also the most intense sign of the zodiac, rises in the horoscope, then Mars becomes the lord of ascendant itself, because Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and the 6th house, which contains the fiery sign of Aries, that is also ruled by Mars, because Aries is the own sign of Mars, and not only the own sign, it is known as the Mool Trikona sign of planet Mars. So the ascendant, the most important point of the horoscope, as well as 6th house, are going to be directly affected by both the ownership of Mars as well as Mars being placed in Aries itself. Now Mars will also affect many other horoscope houses because of its aspect. Vedic astrology says Mars aspects 4th house from its position, which in this case will be all important house of luck, 9th house. Mars also aspects the 7th from itself, which will be the 12th house, and Mars also aspects 8th house from itself, which in this case will be the 1st house again. So 1st house has a tremendous impact of Mars because of its lordship, and also because Mars is having a direct aspect on this. And Mars, as you know, is natural karka, natural significator of energy, your willpower, your fighting spirit, your siblings, your real estate property, the gains from real estate, from houses of war, and police, military, etc. So many other things will be affected because of those significations or natural significations of Mars. So you see, just one placement of Mars can give clues about a large number of areas of your life. And as we do always, in this quick snap video, we will concentrate mainly on some of the most important and practical aspect of this placement, which you can see in your daily lives. So let's begin by analysis of the very first house, because Saturn owns the sign of Scorpio, as well as first house is like the anchor of your chart. It is the most important reference point. So with Scorpio as the ascendant on rising sign, Scorpio is the most intense sign of the zodiac. So generally Scorpio rising personalities are someone who have a very serious and focused outlook towards life. Now with this ascendant, the lord of the ascendant in the fiery sign of Aries shows a person with intense willpower and fighting abilities. These are people who never give up. And in fact, many of the Vedic astrologers, or in general astrologers in general, when they see Mars in the 6th house of conflicts, of military area, of police, and in the fiery sign also of Aries, they say that person can have career in some kind of military field or in police or some kind of those activity. Now that is a possibility, however, that depends on other factors of the horoscope. The 10th lord has to be well placed, the moon has to be accordingly placed to give a career in military. But what can be said with certainty, without any exception, is that this placement provides amazing willpower, amazing fighting ability, and a person who never says no, or someone who never accepts defeats. Defeat for them is only a transitory phase. They will come back again. They will have that fighting spirit to keep going against all odds. And since 6th house, among other things, shows obstacles you face in life. So this placement shows, that the person does face obstacles in life. The The life of people with this placement is not the bed of rose. It is, generally speaking, just from this placement, it is a life where they do face a lot of obstacles and enemies. In fact, since the first house shows the start of your life, and with this intense sign of Scorpio rising and Mars also having an aspect, the 8th aspect of Mars on the first house, does show that the early life could have more obstacle, could even be financially challenging, or with challenges with many different kinds. In fact, many people who are born when some or the other kind of conflict is going on around them, some kind of war-like situation or something like that, they can also have this placement, because Mars in the 6th house, as I said, can show a lot of things related to military. It does indicate that somewhere in the vicinity some kind of conflict might be going on as well when the person is born. But it also does show that the person will definitely overcome the obstacles. These are the people who actually thrive when different kind of challenges are thrown at them. They are not couch potatoes. They are not going to sit idle. They are not going to just enjoy life sitting or watching the game, watching the show. No, they will be the player in the game. They will be someone who will be fighting their way through success and never give up in that process. So in that sense, this is it's an amazing placement which shows a personality who really wins over obstacles in life, many obstacles in life, as I said, especially more likely early in their life, and as they proceed further, they keep on winning the battles of life and eventually come winner. Now this Mars is in the 6th house. It sometimes or many times 6th house is also a house which shows a lot of social changes. Social changes meaning it could simply mean that your circle of influence or your friend circle keeps on changing rather frequently. With this Mars having an aspect on the 12th house, 12th house shows anything foreign. So people with this placement do tend to have a lot of foreign connection also, good foreign connections. In fact, a lot of travel is also indicated by this placement, because Aries is a movable sign. At the same time, it has an aspect on the 12th house which also contains a movable sign of Libra. So this sign or this placement is actually very good for foreign travel and some or the other kind of success in foreign lands. And the travel part of it is further accentuated because Mars has the aspect on the 9th house as well. 9th house among other things shows long distance journeys, especially journeys which are fruitful in nature. It also shows religious journeys or pilgrimage, etc. But every time a 9th house component is involved with travel related matters, it shows good success in that area. So what this placement shows is frequent change of social circles, possibly good relations with foreign lands and good success in foreign countries as well. And now since this Mars, as I said, 6th house shows frequent changes in society or social circle, but because it has an aspect on this 9th house also, so whenever Saturn is well placed, these people tend to once they overcome their initial life obstacles, once they have established themselves in society, they also tend to do something for bringing about social changes. They could be agent of social change in the area they live in. See, because Mars itself is a revolutionary planet. Mars doesn't like status quo. And this Mars is further accentuated by the placement in Aries. Aries is another sign which definitely does not like status quo or stagnation. It always likes to move forward and change for better. And this aspect on the 9th house could mean a lot of involvement in social circle and in activities which tries to bring about change in their lives as well as other people's lives. Now, another important thing we saw in the beginning or we discussed in the beginning, that Mars represents real estate. Mars represents property, land, tangible property. And this Mars is well placed. See, Mars in Aries is quite strong. Although it's in the 6th house, which shows, obstacles and then winning over the obstacles, but this placement of Mars in the 6th house in Aries sign does show good gains from something related to real estate. Depending upon the strength of the 4th house, this gain could be much more or it could be moderate. But this placement always show, investment in any kind of real estate or in rental property or in building homes, etc. People do tend to get a lot of benefit out of those activities. And as we discussed in the beginning, obviously this is a good placement for anything to do with military, army, policing, spying, those kind of activities. Because the significations of the 6th house, Mars and Aries, all of these three are pretty conducive for these kind of things. Now, another thing which 6th house signify is the kind of diseases the person might face, So with this Mars here in the 6th house in such an energetic sign aspecting directly the 1st house, one of the things which is possible is due to extreme activity of the person, some head related issue, some, strange headache. If Mercury is also afflicted with this, then sinus problem. Because sinus or sinus related headaches, they come under the ownership of Mercury as a planet. So if Mercury is afflicted along with this, it can show a lot of headache issues related to nerve systems, and nerve systems typically present in the head, which could be sinus problem. And if say Mercury is afflicted, then this placement of Mars could be very difficult for your maternal family. It is because Mars is in the 6th house of your maternal family or the siblings of your mom and dad, and Mercury is the primary karak of maternal family anyways. So likewise, if keep on going by juxtaposing this one placement with possible other placement, we can keep on interpreting so many areas of life. But right now with this quick snap analysis of Mars in Aries, I'll stop here. I hope this quick analysis would have been useful for you. I really thank you for being with me and watching this video so far. Please do like and subscribe to my channel to continue to get updates like this. Thank you so much guys for watching, and I hope to see you again soon with another video. Bye bye.